hear me? Okay, great. Okay, welcome everybody to Unity Community of Central Oregon, to our Christmas Eve celebration. This is such a special night, and it's so wonderful to be able to have you here, especially after we were unable to do that last year. And for all of those who are online taking advantage of being safe at home instead of braving icy roads or whatever your reason for watching from home, we are welcoming you as well. So tonight is all about gifts. It's the gift of Christmas, the gifts that we are, and that's what we're going to be celebrating as a theme throughout the whole evening. And we'll have our candle lighting ceremony later in the program. We're going to start, though, with Christmas carols, and we're going to sing them all together, because when we sing together, we create a weaving, and it makes community alive. So Eric is going to lead us in the music, and they're all songs that you know, so please join in.
And if you don't know them, they're on the slides. Or did we do the slides?
I don't know, we can only hope.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names like Funny Face. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games like Monopoly. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, ho, 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 Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed. You know what? Let's try that in a different key, because that's just going to be crazy. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed. The little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the bright sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. The cattle are lowing, the baby awakes. The little Lord Jesus no crying he makes. I love thee, Lord Jesus, look down from the sky and stay by my side until morning is nigh. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. May the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white With every Christmas card I write, may your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see him whose birth the angels sing. Come adore unbended knee, Christ the Lord, the newborn King. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary and gathered all around. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wondering love. The morning stars together proclaim the holy birth, and praises sing to God the King, and peace to men on earth. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, he's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's been naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He knows when you are sleeping, he knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. All right.
And now we have a special song, Grown Up Christmas List.
Well, no, we did now.
Oh, we're not doing that anymore?
No, that's the one that.
Now we have another surprise.
Oh, a surprise. Okay, go for it.
Don't mind us, we're professionals. told me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, a newborn king to see, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Peace on earth, can it be? Years from now, perhaps we'll see. Our finest gifts we bring, of glory, to lay before the King,
Men of goodwill, live in peace, live in peace again.
so
Peace on earth,
where
will it be?
every child must be made aware. Every child must be made to care. Care enough for his fellow man to give all the love that he can.
I pray my wish will come true for my child and your child too. He'll see the day of glory, see the day when men of goodwill live in peace again. Peace on earth, can it be? Can it be?
That was so beautiful. Thank you. One of the gifts that these musicians bring is not just their musical talent, but the gift of flexibility, as we have had to make a number of changes, getting closer and closer to this evening. So thank you for being flexible as well as talented. So now we have a story. This is a book called Maybe, and it's a story about the endless potential in all of us. It's written by Kobi Yamada and illustrated by Gabriela Baruch. Have you ever wondered why you are here? You are the only one there ever has been or ever will be. You have so much to offer. Maybe you will invent something that no one has ever seen before. Maybe you will build things and reach high into the sky. Your life is yours. Try as many things as you can try. See as much as you can. Wherever you go, take your hopes, pack your dreams, and never forget it is on journeys that discoveries are made. Maybe you will help others to see the beauty in each day. Or maybe you will lift cheering crowds onto their feet. Do everything with love. Follow your heart and see where it leads you. Maybe you are here to shine a light into places that have been dark for far too long. Maybe you will speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. Technical difficulties. Maybe you are here to help in ways that only you can. That's helping those who can't help themselves. There will be struggles, there will be fears, and it won't always be easy. At times, it will feel really hard, and you might make a mess of things. You may fall down. You may fail. But you will also get back up, and you will rise a little stronger and a little taller, because there really is more inside you than you know. And this world needs your gifts, your talents, your big ideas. And maybe you are just getting started. What if you are only scratching the surface of what you can do and who you can be? What if you have talents you haven't discovered yet? There is something powerful, even magical, about you. You already have everything it takes to do big things. Maybe you have no idea just how good you really can be. And maybe you don't know how much you matter. But maybe, just maybe, the world has been waiting centuries for someone exactly like you. One thing is for sure, you are here. And because you are here, anything is possible. Now we have a little treat of some of our children. We don't have them all up here, but we have a few. And I asked the parents to ask them, what gift do you have to give the world? And I would ask that of all of you. What gift do you have? Or something to do with gifts. So depending on the age, they came up with some interesting answers. But it's not an easy question, is it? And so we have answers coming from 3-year-olds up through 12-year-olds. And so let's see what they have to say.
I am a gift to the world because I am creative and I am a leader and people will follow me.
I'm a gift to the world because I have the power of strength. I use the power of strength while I'm playing baseball. Like when I'm up to bat, I use the power of strength to hit the ball. And I also use the power of strength in like I help my dad fight with his cancer going on.
The gifts I can give to the world are music, piano, cartoons, and writing stories, and spending time in nature. We like to walk at the river trail, and I like to play drums. I like to make up stories.
Okay, can you tell me about your tree here? You want me to tell about it? Okay, it's a beautiful Christmas tree that Miles made. And Miles, what's this?
A present.
Ooh, what is a present?
A belly buncher and a digger.
A belly buncher and a digger, you think are the presents that are in there? Yeah? What makes a good present, Miles?
Belly buncher and digger.
Oh, belly buncher and a digger makes a good present. What else? What kind of presents do you think mommies like?
What do you like?
Presents I like are when we get to snuggle and read books together. Or when you color me a picture. Or when you're kind to Geo. That's like a really nice present. Those are the things that mommy likes to get and see. What do you think daddy likes to get?
What do you think Daddy likes to get?
Oh, I bet daddy likes morning snuggles with you.
I think belly bunchers and diggers.
Oh, you think he also likes belly bunchers and diggers? Geo, what do you think are the best Christmas presents? Yeah, that's a video. Can you show me what you're doing? Are you skating around with the little pom-poms? And you got a big runny nose?
What is
Yeah,
pom-pom?
oh, icky, yuck, yuck. We don't eat it.
What is pom-pom?
The things we're doing crafts with. I think Geo is playing hockey with the little popsicle sticks. All right, Miles, anything else we should know about Christmas and presents? What do you think grandmas like to get?
What?
What
I
do you-
think belly bunchers and diggers.
You do.
Yeah.
We should tell everybody what is a belly buncher.
No, you.
Here, pretend this is a tree. What's a belly buncher? Show me what a belly buncher does. Belly buncher has a big grabber arm and it grabs trees and it can cut them off at the bottom and limb them. And Miles is very much into forestry this year. Can you say Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
Can you look at Mommy's phone? Say Merry Christmas
Merry Christmas.
and Happy New Year.
Happy.
Okay. We did our best.
I'm a gift to the world because I have my little puppy dog named Nessie right here. I think I'm a gift to the world because I love doing gymnastics. I think I'm a gift to the world because I have seen Santa Claus before. I think I'm lucky that I have this beautiful house that I am in. I'm not living in the wilderness, and I'm not homeless.
So this is Evelette and Leon Stevenson, huh? That's Megan and Dan Stevenson's kiddos, huh? All right, so if you had the power to give any gift to the world, what would it be?
Life to live for 100 years.
Life to live for 100 years? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. How about you, Boo Boo? What would you give?
What's your gift?
Life.
Okay, cool.
Now, what do you think makes you a gift?
By
What do you have to share with the world?
well, and drawing really good and singing really good.
Yeah? You like to share your singing and your drawing and being kind?
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Leon?
Well, I draw this so cute.
Oh, yeah?
The boss
Oh, yeah?
and boss bike
Oh, okay.
and bicycle and buster.
Oh,
Nice.
I like it. What are talents that you have to bless the world with?
Drawing, singing, arting, and dancing.
Drawing, singing, arting, and dancing, huh?
Art and dance.
Okay, art and dancing. How about you, Leon? Oh yeah, dancing in your class? Are you good at dancing in your class?
Yeah.
How do you express those talents now, huh?
I do it while I have the free time too.
Yeah. What do you do in your free time to express those talents?
I do them.
You do what? You do art?
Singing and dancing.
Singing and dancing? How about you, Leon? How do you express those talents?
Sing,
Sing,
and dancing.
sing, and dancing? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm going to ask you again. How do you hope to express them someday?
What did I say?
So you like to do dancing and you like to do art, you said, and singing.
Yeah,
So-
after the virus.
After the virus. So when you're a big kid, how would you like to share your gifts with the world?
By doing them on free time.
By doing them on your free time? Do you want to learn to dance really well so you can dance ballet? Or
No, I want to dance acro.
acro? Okay. How about you, Leon?
Acro!
Acro, huh?
Acro.
And how are you going to express your talents someday? Are you going to do lots of drawing and dancing and singing? How are you going to do that someday, huh?
Can you say? Sit. Merry Christmas.
Good job. How about you, Sister Sue?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Sing to you, my love, my love. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open. I can give the world a gift by doing this, being a scientist. I can give a gift to the world by being silly.
All right. Thank you to all those children who were brave enough to answer the question and to all the parents who coached them into doing it. I know that wasn't easy. I know that firsthand, actually. So tonight, Christmas Eve, we are celebrating a story. And this story is a sacred story. It's not a biography of Jesus. That if you think about it, if all of these things had actually literally happened, then people would have been talking about that. You would have been hearing about it through the course of the gospel stories, but there was no mention of it. In fact, it was 300 years later, after the death of Jesus, that these stories suddenly surfaced. And surfaced in the sense of somebody made them up. And they made them up to make a point. So Jesus' family has to travel to Bethlehem so that they can show that he is of the lineage of King David, because that's what had been foretold. They have shepherds coming in to worship him because the writer of that gospel wanted to reach out to the common people. That he was born of a virgin because in those days, everybody who was famous, all the heroes, the Greek gods and so forth, they were all born of virgins. And that was just code for, oh, this person's super special. It didn't mean biologically he was born of a virgin. If you just think back to your your literature classes that you've taken, like the Greek gods and goddesses, you are familiar, I'm sure, with many who were born virgin births that the gods somehow impregnated. So it's not a factual story, but it's a story of truth. It's a story that we find pieces in it that live in our hearts. So we look at the idea of the gift that we are. We each are a Christ child. We each have a Christed, which means the template of perfection. We each have that to aspire to in our lives. Where is the Mary and Joseph in us that is willing to make an arduous journey to give birth to the Christ? Are we willing to go through such a difficult journey? And when the baby is born, when we start to get that idea of the Christ in us, are we willing to give it shelter? Or do we hide it away? Do we say we have no room for it? Do we come and adore it? That part of us that is the greatest part of us, that Christ. Or do we put other things on the altar of our attention? This is how we make the story real in our lives. We step into it and we find where we can grow in our Christedness. One of the elements that really struck me this year was the story of the Magi that come following the star. As I said, it's not a factual story, and yet the idea that wise folk would come from afar to find a special baby is not as far-fetched as it seems. You've probably all heard of the Dalai Lama, and in that tradition, children as young as 2 years old are interviewed to find out who is the reincarnated Dalai Lama. And these children make a choice between objects, some of which belonged to the previous Dalai Lama and some of which didn't. And the one that chooses the correct items is seen as the reincarnation. There may be more to it that seems totally random, but the point is, in that culture, they are believing that at that tender age of 2, they can identify someone who is a great spiritual leader, which is what Jesus was, even though it's a story. In our own tradition, Unity was founded by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. And Charles Fillmore, when he was a boy, he was born into parents that had a trading post. And one day, when he was somewhere between 1 and 3, they're not really sure of the exact age, but there were Sioux, Plains Sioux, that lived in the area. And the tradition among the Sioux was that when a holy person came into their territory, they would come and they would honor them, and they would have some initiation ceremony that advised them that they recognized their holiness. So they felt like that disturbance in the force. They felt that a holy person had entered their territory. And so they got all dressed up in their shaman regalia, and they made their way to the place where Charles was. Now, his parents were away at the time, but his grandmother was there. And they said that they had come to see the holy person, and they were pretty surprised to find a 2-year-old, as you might imagine. But they trusted the energy. And so they took baby Charles, up on the horse with them, and away they rode. And he was gone for a few hours. They did some kind of ceremony, brought him back unharmed. And the point is, he went on to become such a spiritual leader. And they could see the seeds of that. I found the story out from a fellow minister who was talking to someone from the Sioux tribe that he knew, and he asked about this story. And he said, well, before I tell you the story, answer a few questions for me. Is he somebody who had a spiritual path in life and was open to many ways? And he said, yes. He said, did he suffer in his childhood with some kind of injury that he had to overcome? Yes. And I forget what the third question was, but he lined up with all of that, and so then he told him the story of what had happened. And I thought that was fascinating, that they could feel the energy in this 2-year-old who had yet to show up and do the work in his world. It says to me that there is something in our essence, and it is discernible even when we're small. Those of us who have had the privilege of holding a baby know as we hold that baby, there is something so amazing in that baby. We know we are in touch with the sacred as we hold them. But somewhere along the line, we get the idea that it's possible for us to do something that would make us less than sacred. And that is not true. The message of Christmas is that we are all here as sacred gifts to the world. We are all the Christ child, here to awaken and know who we are, and to give our gifts, not to hold them back. And so this Christmas, I really ask you to go into the manger of your heart and ask yourself, what is the Christ gift in you that is wanting to grow? And bring it forth, nurture it. Because the world needs the gifts that each one of you brings. Nobody else will bring them but you.
Lord.
That beautiful video was created last year when we couldn't gather, and it was so nice that we thought we'd use it again this year. And now we're going to do a ceremony of the living lights, the 12 living lights, that it's based on the 12 powers that Unity talks about. And these are qualities, strengths, powers, however you want to think about it, lights that are in each of us. And all we have to do is activate them with our attention. So I'd like to invite the readers to come up. The blue candle represents Mary and the faculty of faith. Mary holds a very special place in our hearts because she is the quintessential activity of faith. The angel Gabriel, a divine visitor, knocks on the door of her heart, asking her to do the impossible. This news probably brought some fear and filled her with questions. Yet the moment she stepped forward in faith, the light that calls us to forgive more fully and love more deeply. Yet the moment she stepped forward in faith into an unknown future, she created a space within herself for infinite possibilities to be born. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of faith, the light that calls us to forgive more fully and love more deeply. It calls each of us to be greater than we could ever have imagined.
Please say with me, I believe in the unlimited possibilities of my soul and the world we are creating.
The light green candle represents the shepherds and the faculty of strength. In the Gospel of Luke, the shepherds are tending to their sheep when the angels appear. They are doing what they have done for generations, watching over what is precious and necessary for life. They represent the enduring, living light of strength, the power and purity of steadfast perseverance we embody as we navigate life. The shepherds are that voice within, reminding us we are not alone. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of strength, the light that carries us through our joys and our sufferings. It allows us to watch over what is most precious in our own lives because we know God is everywhere present.
We light this candle to acknowledge our gift of spiritual strength to the world. Please say with me, I am strong and watch over our world with love.
The yellow candle represents the wise men and the faculty of wisdom. In the time of Jesus, the Magi, or wise men, found wisdom by being in touch with another reality. When they had the vision of Jesus' birth, they chose to act on it at great risk to their own well-being. The Magi represent for us our capacity to seek guidance and answers, and to use that wisdom to create a world that works for all. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of wisdom, the light that is the link between our divine and human nature. Wisdom directs us to act as love, compassion, joy, peace, and all divine ideas, bringing the invisible world into reality.
Please say with me, I shine the light of my wisdom onto the world. We light this candle to acknowledge our gift of wisdom to the world. Please, we've already said that. Say it again. No.
The pink candle represents the gifts of the Magi and the faculty of love. In the Gospel of Matthew, the gifts the wise men bring to Jesus are gold, frankincense, and myrrh, rare, precious, and priceless in Jesus' world. The Magi traveled from faraway nations and knelt before the Christ child as a sign of love and devotion. These gifts remind us that we are each worthy of giving and receiving the priceless gift of love and belonging. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of love. The light reminding us the Christmas story heralds the birth of a person who loved selflessly, and any person who loves in this way is fully alive with the gifts of the Magi.
We light this candle to acknowledge our gift of the love to the world. Please say with me, I am a gift of love flowing as a blessing to the world.
The purple candle represents the Bethlehem and the faculty of dominion. Jesus was said to have been born in Bethlehem because that was the city of the great King David, and Jesus was born to reign through speaking truth and love to the world. We express our power of dominion when we align with truth and love and transform the world. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of dominion, the light that is the authority of the Christ. I exercise my authority to create this world by aligning myself to truth and love. The light blue candle represents the Star of Bethlehem and the faculty of imagination. In the Gospel of Matthew, the wise men were guided by the Star of Bethlehem to the newborn baby. It lit their path, allowing them to follow a way to the beginning of a new world. The star symbolizes our ability to imagine and envision a transformed world and follow that vision in order to express the Christ. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of imagination, the light we use to create and give shape to the sacred and to form God into what the world needs most: compassion, joy, love, courage, and peace. I light up my imagination and conceive of a world that works for all. The gold candle represents Joseph and the faculty of understanding. Joseph, husband of Mary and father to Jesus, inspires us to view life through another's eyes. Joseph's character is strong and quiet, yet he has a desire to know the world in a more profound way, regardless of his challenges. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of understanding, the light that is our ability to stretch and see with new eyes, taking in all that is happening, not just with our senses, but with our hearts and minds. This spiritual understanding leads us to knowing the peace that surpasses all human understanding.
We light this candle to acknowledge our gift of understanding to the world. Please say with me,
I open the eyes of my soul to understand the world from spiritual sight. The silver candle represents the angel Gabriel and the faculty of will. The angel Gabriel comes to Mary to let her know she would miraculously give birth to a child. Little did she know he would become a way-shower for the world on how to love, give, and forgive. The word angel means messenger from God, and when this divine visitor knocked on Mary's heart with a message that seemed impossible, we are reminded that our angels represent the will of our higher self, leading and calling us to forgive more fully and love more deeply. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of will, the light that is our willingness to say yes to that which is calling us to be greater than we could ever have imagined. It's right here.
We light this candle to acknowledge our gift of will to the world. Please say with me, I am willing to see divine possibilities all around me and act upon them.
The dark green candle represents manger and the faculty of divine order. The writer of Luke tells us that when Jesus was born, he was wrapped in cloth and laid in a manger. This is an extraordinarily humble beginning, yet the simple, often unseen barnyard trough is a symbol for that current of spiritual law that is ever present and always accessible. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of divine order, the light that is naturally ordered, hidden, current of life we are always aligning with in order to bring forth a world in a balanced and harmonious way.
Please say with me, I trust the unseen order of my life and world and create peace by aligning with it.
The orange candle represents the heavenly hosts and the faculty of zeal. The prophet Isaiah wrote that a child will be born, the Prince of Peace, and heavenly hosts will express the zeal of the Lord. In the Gospel of Luke, the heavenly hosts ring out the song of Jesus' birth. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly hosts, a truly awe-inspiring image to represent the universal force which urges us to grow and enthusiastically move forward in life. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of zeal, the light that is the inward fire of the soul, passionately springing forth to manifest our Christ nature here on earth.
We light this candle to acknowledge our gift of zeal to the world. Please say with me,
I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm, and I spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. The rust candle represents the prophets and King David and the faculty of release. In Scripture, Jesus' lineage and connection to King David is highlighted, as are the prophets who foretold the coming of a Messiah. These characters show us that while our story matters, where, who, and what we come from, they also invite us to see what we may need to let go of on our spiritual journey. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of release, the light of surrendering to our inner spirit and releasing old thoughts, feelings, and experiences that are not for our highest good.
We light this candle to acknowledge our gift of release to the world. Please say with me, I let go of old stories that no longer serve and create a world that is fresh and wonderful.
The red candle represents Jesus and the faculty of life. Christmas comes at the darkest time of the year, the setting in which Jesus' birth stories were written. Is it any wonder then that we yearn for the rich language of light, luminous, blazing, glowing, illuminating, radiant, sparkling, shining, and brilliant? Light is deep within us as the symbol of what is most sacred, divine, and alive. It is life itself. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of life, which is the expression of vitality, wholeness, and creativity as demonstrated by Jesus. His birth and life remind us, show us that we are infused with that same divine presence he embodied and have the power and potential to express the eternal activity of God in all things and in all ways.
And we affirm lighting this candle to acknowledge our gift of life to the world. So please say with me,
I am alive with purpose and vitality,
and I use it to bless the earth and all life.
Far back beyond the beginning, stretching out into the unknowable, incomprehensible, unfathomable depths of infinite eternity, the Christ power was alive. This was the living, bursting, pulsing, generating, creating, smoldering, exploding, fusing, multiplying, emerging, erupting, pollinizing, heating, cooling power of life itself. We became agents of that power, sharing those gifts from generation to generation, creating and recreating, making, redeeming, transforming, making all things new. As we claim our Christ power, we are born anew, bringing light to the darkness and recreating our world. We are the light of the world. We are holy beings, Christ incarnate.
Kind of snuck this up on you, sorry. Holy, holy, holy. I am. Holy, holy, holy. I am. Holy, holy, holy. I am. Holy, holy, holy. I claim my power to change the world. Change it with love. Change it with love. I claim my power to change the world. And so it is. And so it is. I claim my power to change the world. Change it with love. Change it with love. I claim my power to change the world. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Holy, holy, holy. I am. Holy, holy, holy. I am. Holy, holy, holy.
A star is shining in the sky,
Brighter than all the rest.
illuminating the wonder below. A child of light,
One born remembering the light.
whose light will illumine our minds.
also remember we are made of light.
and that we are luminous beyond measure.
Beings that we must treasure.
We are here to shine the light of our hearts.
Our light doesn't belong under a bushel.
Stuffed inside armor.
Hidden behind a protective wall.
We were born to give our light.
We are the light of the world.
Sacred and still.
Wise beyond all reason.
Shining, generous love.
We are the light that shines.
Above and below.
Within and without.
We are the light of the world.
If there's anybody who doesn't have a candle, would you please raise your hand? No. Okay. So we're going to pass the light around from one to the other, and the thing to remember is that when you are receiving the light, you should be tipping your candle. The one that's burning should remain upright, okay?
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gratia plena, Ave, Ave Dominus, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus, fructus ventri tui, Iesus. Ave Maria. Ave Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, ora pro nobis, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis, in hora
beautiful. Let's hold our candles high and just turn around. And those of you online, please hold your own candles up and just look around at the beautiful light we make as a community. And then we blow out our candles only on the outside. The light on the inside remains. And could I have the greeters come up, please? This is a time of offering where we express the gift that we are through our energy, the energy of money, the energy of service. If you have checks that you want to put in the basket or cash, this is the place, but you can also text. And we really appreciate all the ways that you support us financially. We bless these empty baskets knowing that they are containers of possibility, and we are the answer to the prayers of this community. I want to give a special thanks to our musicians. Victor, that Ave Maria that nobody could clap for because our hands were filled with lighted candles was beautiful. And I really want to acknowledge Eric and Victor for stepping in Dave's absence while he is healing. They have done such a beautiful job, and we really appreciate that. So thank you. And I'd like to acknowledge the Stevenson family. Besides having their children in the video, they made a special donation to be able to provide books of these 5 principles, and because it had meant so much to them to read it, they wanted to be able to share that with other people who are new to Unity. So we have ordered those, and we thank you very much for that gift. And I want to give a special thanks to the Kubota crew in the tech booth there for all that you do. And let's bless these offerings together. From the love of pure spirit within us, we bless these gifts. We send them forth to heal, bless, and prosper. They are evidence of our faith and belief. They do good work in the world and return to us multiplied abundantly, and so it is. I have just a few announcements I want to share with you. I think all of you got papers that are here that have the announcements on it, but the 12 Days of Christmas is something we're doing for the very first time. And with the 12 Days of Christmas, you'll get an email that alerts you to it, but you just click on each day, and we have either a message or a meditation or a song or a poem, and it's from a lot of people that you don't normally hear from. So I think you'll really enjoy it. Our next Sunday service is going to be January 9th, so we're taking a little break from Sunday services and doing the 12 Days of Christmas instead. So I hope you'll enjoy it. However, if you're looking for getting together, on the 27th, we're going to show the movie Shalom Tango. And it seems like it's going to be a pretty funny movie, and I hope that you'll be able to do that. And then the Burning Bowl is going to be a bonfire outside, and you can write down the things you want to release and toss them in the bonfire. But the bonfire itself is going to be a time of community and just hanging out together around the fire. What we usually do for a meditation as part of the service will be one of the 12 Days of Christmas, specifically on the 31st. So you'll be able to get your spirit animal and word of power that way. We have a couple of classes that are happening. Prayer for Ordinary People starts January 4th, and you sign up on the calendar for that. There's no charge. And there's also a possibility party on January 6th. You also sign up on the calendar for that. And is Julianne here today? I don't see her. So we have just one closing song for you.
Oh, okay, well, flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we want to feel really adventurous and do a holy night. Whatever you want. What key do you do it in?
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary soul rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night, oh, night, night divine. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within praise his holy name. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night divine. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Sing along.
Good tidings and joy. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish
Sing
you
with
a
us.
Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We
Wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
good tidings to bring wherever you are.
Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish
wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
If you take your candles out and put them in the baskets in the foyer, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Jane.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, we have to. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jane.